So I rearranged my mat today so I can have a little more opportunity to move. So first off, just let your legs go long and notice how your pelvis or back feels. If that is too intense, just bring those feet to standing in constructive rest. But we pause here to begin with. And we just notice our breath. And we feel our way up from the heels, noticing how the heels rest on the floor, or if your feet are standing, how the feet rest. If your legs are long, notice the contact points in the calf, the thighs, maybe the knees. Come up to the pelvis and notice the space underneath the waist. Get a sense of the distance from the back of the body to the mat. And now take your hand and, before we do that, one more thing. Notice, does one side of the pelvis feel like it is more closely acquainted to the floor? Or does one side of the waist feel like it is closer to the floor than the other? For most of us, there will tend to be one side or the other will feel that. Now we're going to take our hands after we've noticed that, and we're going to slide it underneath our waist and just notice if our assessment, our inner knowing was correct. So for me, I notice that my left side of my pelvis feels really heavy. And as I tuck my hand underneath, I notice that indeed it is closer to the floor, the waist on that side, than on the other side. So we just notice these things because, as we know, attention brought to any part of the body brings the brain into the equation so things can change. So now we're all going to take our legs long, and we're going to start with the right leg. And we're going to bring all our feet up to standing now. We're in constructive rest posture. Starting with the right leg, we're going to let that leg fall open. Any amount, no strain here. And then we slide on the heel and maybe the outer edge of the foot, slowly all the way down till the leg is full length. And now we're going to reverse that. So the foot falls open and we slide the heel. When we're coming up, generally the heel is easier to connect with. We're doing it slowly. And then the foot comes back to stand. So I'm modeling this. If you want to take a peek, if my instructions aren't clear enough, the leg falls open. The foot slowly slides down. When I get to the bottom, I like to, with my leg long, I like to point my toes to the ceiling. And then when I reverse it, the foot falls open and the heel drags slowly back up to standing. We're going to do that one more time on the right side. Let the knee fall open and the foot slides down. And maybe those toes point toward the ceiling, because that replicates the top posture, the constructive rest pose with the foot vertical. We're going to open that foot, slide it up. And now we're going to pause here, slide both legs out long, and then just notice the right and the left side of the body. We're going to bring it to the left side now, and we're going to bring those feet back up to constructive rest posture. This time we're going to allow the left leg to fall open, and that foot slides out. When the leg is long, if it feels good, bring those toes to point at the ceiling, like we're standing on the floor or the wall opposite. Let the foot fall open. Then slowly draw the heel up until it naturally comes to stand. So you could play with this when you're resting before you even get out of bed in the morning. You can do a few of these to really help the low back get ready for movement. This coupled with, so I'm just keeping the movement going here, but this coupled with pelvic tilts are a really great way if low back or tightness in the back anywhere is an issue. We're going to slide that foot down one more time and then slide it up. The feet come to standing. Now we're going to allow both knees to fall open and the feet to slide slowly. This is a slow motion action. Maybe the toes point at the ceiling when they're long and then the feet fall open. And this time when we're drawing the heels up, maybe they're going to come a little bit closer to each other at the center line of the body, the imaginary center line. And then the feet come to stand. Knees fall open, legs slide out. And then the feet fall open again, drawing the heels toward each other as we come back. And we'll do that one more time. If there's any strain when doing this, only go down as far as the body feels comfortable. So maybe you don't make the full length action. Sometimes when we're working both sides of the body and we have an imbalance, slide those feet up. The side that's used to doing the heavy lifting or all the work will take over and the other side will not feel as good. I'm going to pause here. And now slide the legs out, both legs, frog leg them out all the way. And then just let the feet fall open and notice how your back feels. So one leg at a time, bring your feet back to constructive rest. One leg at a time, frog legging them up and in. We're going to breathe in and flatten the waist, tip the chin away. So here we have a pelvic tilt. And now we're going to roll down across the sacrum, lifting the waist, keeping the glutes on the floor, chin comes toward the heart. We're just going to do a few of these rocking motions, following your breath. Noticing when it's open and expanded is an in-breath, and when we contract or close down, like chin to chest, maybe an out-breath. And then we're going to pause in the center, breathe in. And on the out-breath, flatten the waist to lift the left leg. Bring that leg into the heart. Breathe here. Straighten the leg and bend the knee. Straighten the leg and bend the knee. So I'm holding behind my thigh on my hamstrings, interlaced fingers. One more extension. Notice a nice flexion in the foot. Toes should be coming toward the knee. And then we release that foot to the floor. Switch sides. And we'll do it on an out breath. So breathe in. And on the out breath, flatten the waist to lift the leg. So when we do that, it takes the torque out of the sacrum, so it makes it easier to lift the leg. We're going to extend on an in-breath. Nice flexed foot. Release the breath as we release the knee, drawing it closer to the heart. Extending on the in-breath, and out breath, the knee comes back, bent. And one more time. Pause with this leg up, press into the low back to draw that left leg in. Both knees are in. And now we're just going to do a gentle rocking right and left. And releasing one foot first. And we're going to take it as slowly as we can. Draw the belly up and in. We're going to release this foot to the floor as slowly as we can. One leg down. One leg comes down. Make it slow. Work in the abdominals. And then the other foot releases slowly. See if you can draw that low belly in. Below the belly button. See if we can find that musculature in this action. We're going to do that again, utilizing the pressing of the back into the mat. So breathe in, press the low back into the mat, gently lift the left leg, and then slowly lower the left leg. Keep the low back pressed into the mat to do this. So what helps the low back is having a strong core. Release the compression, release the anchoring of the low back for just a moment. And now anchor the low back again. And then we're going to lift the right foot and slowly lower this foot. Keep the back anchored. So as we're doing this, we're remembering to keep the low back as connected to the floor as we can so that there's no strain in the lumbar or sacral areas. Would you like to do both legs? Let's not. Let's just do one more on each side. Press into the low back. Left leg comes up and slowly lowers. Draw that belly in. And then switching legs, press into the low back to lift the right foot now. Right leg comes up and in, and then slowly lowers. And when the feet come to the mat, when that foot is on the mat, walk the feet out as wide as the mat. And now we're going to take the right leg and we're going to tip it toward the left ankle. You're going to feel a nice stretch in the psoas. So I'm keeping my left knee pointed at the ceiling more or less as I drop that right leg toward the ankle. Sliding the right arm above the head, if that feels good. If it doesn't, just stop at cactus. But if you can, slide the arm above the head and then take the left hand and draw the right side of the body long by pulling on the right arm. Breathe here. 3 breaths. To unwind this, begin by releasing the arms back to a neutral posture. maybe down next to the pelvis. We're going to bring that right foot to standing. We pause for just a moment here. Both knees are pointed at the ceiling. Legs are still wide, feet as wide as the mat. And now we're going to take that left knee toward the right ankle. And so I'm keeping the right foot standing. I'm not tipping out. Right foot stays standing. And now we're going to take that left arm, slide it above the head, if that is comfortable. Otherwise, just bring it out to a T or a cactus. And then we're going to take the right hand and we're going to hold that left wrist and we're going to draw on that left arm, doing a little bit of a dive into the psoas, getting a nice stretch. Breathe here, 3 big breaths. Oh. And then the arms slide down first. Then the knee comes back. And now we breathe in, roll down toward the tailbone, chin comes to heart. And breathe out, flatten the waist and draw the legs into the heart, maybe one leg at a time or simultaneously. And we're just going to rock right and left. And we're slowly going to lower the feet. We're connecting the low back to the mat. We're drawing our belly up and in as we lower our feet simultaneously, slowly to the floor. If that is too much strain on the back, one leg at a time is great. And belly's tucked up and in, low back pressing into the mat. Yeah, there we go. I hope you breathe through that because I didn't. Someone's got to do the breathing here. Let's take our strap now. And we're going to press into the low back as we draw the strap up and over the heel of the foot today. And we're going to bring that leg vertical if we can. If you can't, then if going vertical, there's a bend in the knee, just bring the leg forward until that knee bend resolves. And we draw the leg down. We're pulling on the strap. And now flex the foot deeply. You'll feel this in the calf muscle. If you'd like a little bit more, extend the opposite leg and flex that foot. So we're pushing the heel toward the ceiling and bringing the toes toward our face. And you might feel the whole back side of your leg light up, all the way up to the sits bones. To come out of this, gently bend the leg that's in the strap. If your other leg is long, frog leg it up to standing, and then press into the low back to bring it into the strap. And then we're coming to the heel on the left foot. So we got a flexed foot. Wow, really noticing this on my left foot. We're drawing that heel down so that we can get a nice stretch in the calf muscle. And again, if you notice you have a bend in your knee, just take the leg until it's straight. And then pause there. The magic's going to work. Slide the other foot out only if that is comfortable for you. Both feet are flexed, and we're going to do some deep breathing here because life is all about the breath, right? Our companion and our ally throughout our whole life is our breath. I'm going to be here for a few more breaths. So keep tractioning the heel down, toes coming toward the knee. That opposite foot, if it's extended, it's flexed. And now we're going to release this. Bend the leg that's in the strap, frog leg, the other foot to standing. Then release the foot that was in the strap. Come to the mat. Pause here. Follow your breath. Just noticing, no magical breath here, just noticing the breath as it moves in and out of the body. And we're going to close our practice today with our psoas stretch. Well, almost close our practice. We're going to take our block. We're going to walk our feet closer to our glutes. We connect with the inner edge of each foot, pressing our pelvis to the sky. And then we slide the block underneath and we settle back onto the block. We're in supported bridge, Setu Bandha. We're going to draw the left leg in. So when we're on the block, our low back is supported here, our sacrum is supported. So we can draw that leg in with ease. Hold behind the knee. Use the strap if needed. Some people like to put the strap above the shin. Just depends on what feels good for you. Maybe you interlace your fingers above the shins. We're going to slide that right foot out. Both feet are super flexed here. So we do our best to keep full attention on flexion. Toes coming back toward the knee. And now press into the heel of the extended leg. So pretend like you're pressing into the wall. We'll be here for 1 minute. So this is another low back 101 posture. A couple minutes on each side every day will help keep the low back happy because it's stretching the psoas, which is in the core, which pulls us forward, which aggravates the low back. All the mechanics of it all. So we're going to slowly frog leg that right foot up, and we're drawing it in. And we're going to release the left foot to the floor. Slide that leg out long. Flexion in both feet. Another minute here. Really great breath. Just really noticing the breath moving in and out of the body. Pressing again through the heel of the left foot, checking the flexion on the right. We're going to draw that left leg up and in now. So we're resting on the sacrum on a block, and our feet are, our knees are up. They could stay at the 90-degree angle, or maybe it might feel good to extend both legs here. And they don't have to be straight. They can have a little bend in them. Then we're going to bend our knees. Slowly lower both feet to the floor, tuck the belly in. Still use our abs here. Yes, we can. When the feet arrive on the floor, the pelvis is going to go up. So inner edges of the feet activate. Draw the belly up and in as we lift our pelvis. Remove the block. Slowly lower one section of the spine at a time to the floor. Then gently rock the knees right and left. So when we began, the invitation was legs long or constructive rest. So go back to whatever feels best for you. And then just notice how the feet rest. What's happening now with the legs? Maybe sliding the hands under the waist to notice how the pelvis and the waist rest now. Maybe the waist might be a little closer to the floor now. We'll rest here for a minute or two in Shavasana. So come into your favorite resting posture. Gently begin to deepen the breath, activating the fingers and the toes with the breath. Today's thought is from Rumi. Let the beauty of what you love be what you do. We're going to find our way to seated now. And if rolling to one side doesn't feel comfortable, try rolling to the other side and see if that is better. Press yourself up to seated. And we open our arms wide and we gather all the blessings that already exist and we draw them in appreciation and gratitude into our hearts. And together we all say, Namaste.